Okay, Roger, Mud Fossil University, and I just did a video about Atlantis and about a timeline in history because I can use Atlantis to date a timeline in history. I made a couple of mistakes of dates. I just sort of rambling. So the true story is here is what is recorded in history by Plato, and I believe Plato 100%. Herodotus puts the Atlantis in the eye of the Sahara. In his 450 BC map. It's not something that was unknown, and I will give you the proof to show it. So it says Atlantis, a likely mythical island, not in Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, has been an object of fascination among Western philosophers' histories for nearly 2,400 years when he wrote it. Now, which was when Plato's time was. Now, he says that it as a powerful advanced kingdom sank in a night and a day into the ocean around 9600 BC. All right, then it goes on about the ancient Greeks were divided as to whether Plato's story was wrong. Well, the ancient Greeks were wrong, and I will show you right now. And that leaves us to 9600, so a day in ocean, 9600 BC. We are at 2000 approximately. So let's go to 11,600. I was saying 11,400, whatever, summarize. So let's go 11,600. That's okay. That'll work. So here it comes. Hey, Roger, once again, Mud Fossil University with one of those take a deep breath moments. We're here in Africa, and we are about to timeline history, which is going to upset many, many people. In every, but let's just see what happens here. All right, we're looking at Africa. So how am I going to timeline Africa just by looking at it? Well, let's see what I can do. All right, I do mud fossil research, as most of the people that are watching this understand, and I've been doing the chemistry on all, and with DNA tests and CAT scans and anatomists and all kinds. It's so deep that it's totally unimpeachable, totally unchallenged. If you would like to, I am certainly willing and would love for anyone who has any standing to attack me or come and say, let's take a look at it. I don't care if you attack me or not, but that will probably be the case. Now, so let's just go on and see what we have here. Making this claims that I just made that I am 100% valid in the statements that I have made to date. There is no one that has even challenged them. The only thing that I have gotten is, oh, the guy's crazy. Not once, and I have DNA, I have CAT scans, I have anatomists, I have recreated the process in chemistry. There is not one thing that can be impeached. So let's continue on here, because I also found a dragon and a leviathan in the desert. Oh, the guy's insane. Well, let's just see how insane this guy is. All right, let's come down here, and I also found Atlantis. All right, and I also found out why there was all kind of bones and of whales and everything in here, because this was an ocean. And when it collapsed, the eye of the Sahara right over here collapsed. This drained out through here. And if you look carefully, you just see everything swished out of here. You just have to open your eyes. Now, the Cape Verde Islands appears to have been created at this time. There's some little volcano-looking thing here, but you can see it swept around the edges of it and piled up in front. Now, let's take a little closer look at this and see if this guy is insane. All right, so why is all this stuff running out that way? I don't know. Do you have any idea? It looks to me like it ran out of there because something forced it to run out of there. Well, what could have done that? Well, let's take a look. Wow, look at that thing right there. That's the eye of the Sahara. And this is extremely wide. I mean, it's like 32 miles wide or something more than that. It's extremely deep. It's a couple of miles, several miles deep. You see these rings here? That's exactly what Plato said in his, I think it was Theseus or whatever, I forget. Anyway, it was, you look it up. It's Atlantis by Plato, basically. And he talks about how they mined everything from underneath and took the metals and the minerals and did all kind of things with them, and actually made the walls out of metal, covered them with metal. And that's what I see there. Those are the colors of metals. Metals have colors. Case closed. Now, it crashed, and so much stuff ran that Plato said never again will they speak of mud running. Look at it. Look at this. Like a rocket ship right out into the ocean. And there it is. I think this may be a volcano. They say it's a volcano. I don't know. Maybe it all piled up there and who knows what happened. But it looks to me like it split right off of there. Hit there and whooshed. All right, so let's go with the fact that this ran out of there. That's what I'm saying. Now, and if it is right, Plato says it's here. Herodotus says it's there too. This is the Atlantis Mountains, the Atlas mountain range. This is what bordered in the Sahara Ocean. This is a straits. I've looked this up. I've done a lot of work. And inside of here, there's stadia, which are the 330-foot-long stadiums. There is a bridge. Well, there's more than one bridge. There's all kinds of slips for boats and things. There's entrances. There's all kinds of things going on there. So that is Atlantis. Case closed in my book. Now, so what does that mean? Well, is there anything else in here that we can look at that has any significance? Because Plato says this happened 91, I think it's 9,100 years before him, something like that. So it's around, I think I put it around 11,400 years ago. This collapse, the Atlantis collapse, 11,400 years ago. So and these people that were from Atlantis they owned this ocean, the Libyan Ocean, and they owned all this stuff. And that they ruled it, I guess, pretty nasty. And when they were destroyed, they were the long-headed people, I believe. And they came out in Ethiopia, in the highlands of Ethiopia, they said, in sophisticated in every way. So they had no place to go. They came out of the mud, they say, sophisticated in every way. They showed up in Scotland, in England, everywhere. They went all over the world because they had to go from there. I think my buddy Pete said they something like 70 different locations they ended up at. So what does that tell us? So now we're going 11,400 years ago. So anything else here? Well, what about the fish? You say, what fish? I say, this fish right here. That's the Leviathan. You see him? That's his scales. You see the fish scales? Right, let me come in a little closer. Maybe you could get a better look. You see the fish scales? That's his eye up in here. That's his fin. All right, he comes down here. This is his body. His tail wraps right around here. You see it? And that's the scales of his body. So you say, well, that's a fish. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It just sort of looks like a fish. Well, maybe there's something else going on here, like a dragon biting his tail, is a fin, which was recorded in the ancient Hebrew texts. As far as I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that said that the dragon or the serpent attacked the fish's fin with power, and it is power, because you see the stuff coming out of this dragon's mouth? Coming down here, that's his fin, and it is coming out of there with some of the nastiest stuff that you will ever encounter in your life. Now, whatever that is, I don't know, but it is not something that you see very often. Let me put it that way. Now, as that stuff spit to his fin, it literally did something to burn it up. And not only did it burn it up, it destroyed his flesh. You see this here? Let's go back here and look. This is the fish. This is his fin. The dragon is biting his fin. He set it on fire or whatever he did, and look at what it did. It rotted the fish's flesh here. All right? You see that? I know what that is. That's rotted flesh. I see it all the time. That's not just something that happened. That's the thing. He spit that stuff on him and burnt him up or whatever it did. Now, and you say, oh, that's a dragon? Yeah, it is a dragon. And how big is that dragon? It is enormous. That's his legs. That's all the blood leaking off him after he died. And that's all the blood all over the desert from these dying. And this is his guts up here and everything. Look, here's his neck. Let's follow his head down here. You see? I don't know if you ever saw the Chinese dragons. That's a Chinese dragon. Got that funny little nose, and all that stuff spit out. And here's his throat. Here's that all fluty stuff they have, and a little flary eye that has a flashy, it's a burning eyeball there. See? Now, here's his neck. See, there's that fluty stuff. And it has a little fuzzy stuff that goes along with it. They're very attractive looking animals, really. Anyway, and here's all his dragon scales, you see? And there's his dragon-scaled throat. See? Dragon scale. And they go all the way down his dragon-scaled throat. Let me see if I can drag it. You know, let me see. And then they got all that flary stuff. It keeps going. It's very, very amazing. And there's all that fluty stuff on his back. Well, let's just cut to the chase here. Let's get to the end because it will be here all day. It goes down, 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 down. And then it goes through his stomach way down here. Here's his stomach area. Here's his legs. Here's his tail. And then I'll just go to the back. His tail comes way out here because they flare at the end of the tails. But let's go to the place just before it flares. And you see this here? There's the remainder of his dragon-scaled tail. And it still goes out here further. I don't know how far it goes, but it gets kind of fluty at the end. Now, out here, you see this? Remember I talked about transition metals? That's transition metals. Transition metals come from the bodily fluids of creatures that have, you know, in us is red blood. This guy, I don't know, this doesn't look like red blood to me. Anyway, you see this border here? You see that? That creature, which is a dragon, who bit a leviathan and attacked the leviathan's fin with power, is exactly what was written, is on the surface of the desert in Morocco. All right? Think that through in your mind. This is on the surface of the desert in Morocco. This isn't buried. This isn't thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years ago. Hell no. This is on the surface. All the no-toes that I show are on the surface. Things that are on the surface are on the surface. That didn't, you see that? That's what's called effluent. That is a runoff of decaying decomposition of organic matter. It runs out of a body. It purges. That's the nature. You see it up here? That is the nature of death. And this puppy did not die that long ago. All right? That is red and black. This is a red and black blood. This is a red-blooded creature. And it has other metals and minerals in it, as we do as well. We have gold and all that stuff in this. So that is a dragon. The other thing is a leviathan. That is Atlantis. And this is the stuff that ran out. Plato says that happened 11,900 years ago. I will accept that. And I will accept this as the evidence that this happened exactly at that same time. Everything ran off here. This fish is protecting the runoff by its tail. It's swept around here, so this fish ended up coming after this started to run off, but just almost at the same time, because the fish's body will come down this way, and then the tail will flare up. This breached that little cup that would be here, and it flashed over him. So this draining, now listen carefully. Remember what I'm talking about. All that stuff came out of here. This guy's laying here. This guy bit him. They're both laying here. His blood's gushing out all over the place and running over the top of that fish. At the same time the water went out here, created Cape Verde Islands. I say the case is closed. It happened at the same time. It happened at the same time. Or very, 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 very close. We know that this happened. Well, it happened at the same time. I can't see any other way. This stuff's just twisted around it. Otherwise, it would have been under all this stuff. If it happened before, all of this stuff would have came over it. If it happened way later, I don't think anything would have run over the top. It would have just been laying on the top of everything. So I say that happened at the same time. That is my expert analysis of the situation. And if anybody wants to confront that with some other special information that I'm unaware of, I'd love to hear it. But for me, there's a lot being said right here. Okay, you want to watch this? This is my good friends Pink Floyd, the first of the mud fossil researchers that knew the real truth. Now, what you just saw was part one of how I'm going to try to figure out what happened in history. And I call it the horrifying zoo theory. Because the things that we thought were reality are so far from reality. And the most pliable mind can literally not get to where it has to get. It snaps. So don't get upset if you don't feel well. What you have witnessed, or what you will witness, and what you will find out, is that nothing that you've been taught is correct. And it's just, and it's so hard for the ones that have taught this to you to confront that what they've taught you is not right, and the things that they believe are not right. So this is a deep well we're dropping into. So anyway, I'm going to go on to discuss what I feel, and I could be wrong, I could be 100% wrong. I mean, I see what I see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, I'd have a hard time having somebody make that case at this point. So now I'm going to go off into maybe Never Never Land. In the next video, which will be about what happened with the Titans and Gaia and Chaos and Uranus and all of that stuff, when did it happen? What was that all about? How could that have happened in the time frame that we're thinking about? And how could this dragon have happened in this particular time frame that Plato talks about? And how could Enki have happened? And how could 450,000 years of Sumerian kingship have happened? And how could... There is so many questions here. And I need somebody to start looking at it in this light with me, because I'm standing here in a light that nobody's here. Nobody is looking at this in reality. And this is the kind of reality. We look at this and laugh, oh, this is funny. It's not funny. This is every bit possible. Can you imagine? Can you literally imagine? This is literally possible. The creatures that were here, well, you saw that dragon is 900 miles long. This thing would be able to sit on its back. Do you understand the dimensions of the things that we're talking about? The size of that fish, the size of that dragon, the size of the earth, the size of the giants, the size of the feet that is shown in Mud Fossil University, the things that have been showing up all over the earth that are being, I'm just handing off a lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff I discovered myself, yes, but people are coming to me because they've seen that I was able to start talking and, was able to take the onslaught that, I'm telling you, it's been 6 years, and I'm still considered a fool. I've lost virtually everything that I held dear at one point, and I don't really care because there is dearness coming to me. So this is, look at this. This is absolute. This is fact. This is possible. This is not silly. And the guy's insane. Well, good for you people, because there's no toes. We have giants. There's all I can say is, and these are feet. There's feet this size. That's an ankle. Pink Floyd knew this. This is 1972. Called Mudman. It's on YouTube. It's a good song. You see this? That's skin. My buddies knew this then. I wish they were my buddies. They're not. I mean, they are, but they don't know it yet. They knew everything, and they showed it in a way ahead of their time. So stay with me, because I got a lot more to show you. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm going to keep showing it, and then we'll discuss what we need to discuss. But everything on this planet was alive. My statement is that every molecule that I've found so far, that I can see, it was alive, except lava. But every single rock was alive. Water has a memory. It can actually, I believe it is the thing that actually does the instructions in your body, tells everything what to do. Otherwise, I don't think everything in your body just bumps into each other and it all happens good. So, it's a whole new world.